Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Quarantine and Rap. I go by the name of Ray Pearson, and it's been about 2 weeks since we've done this. You know what I mean? The last time y'all saw me for Quarantine and Rap was for my Word Started At EP listening event. So once again, shouts to everybody who attended virtually. Shouts to everybody who was there in person. And if you haven't heard it, where it started at is out now. The entire EP was produced by Famine. Check it out, 6 songs. You know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think of it. You can find the post on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, check my channel. It should be under one of the playlists. If you're on Instagram, click the link in my bio and it's there. So tonight we got another New Yorican helping me run the asylum. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Izzy Mar.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Yeah, Izzy, what's the dilly?
What's going on, bro? Shouts
Ain't
to
nothing,
you.
man. Thank you, man. We here, man. We're alive and we're alive and kicking, man.
Facts.
Um, so you know what I mean. Let's get into the topics tonight. But before we do that, man, um, how's everything on your end as far as this COVID is concerned?
Well, we straight over here. It's just as you can see, it was a false advertisement when it came to the poster that you put. You know what I'm saying? I had a whole fade, and I'm out here looking like J. Cole. Took a hit of some crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see this shit? This shit is crazy. But
Good,
all
man.
in all, I'm growing my hair out. You know what I mean? So I'm just it's a
Right.
curse and a blessing at the same time. So
Right. I mean, it's all a part. I mean, it's a process, man. It's a process.
yeah.
Um, but we getting into it, man. So first things first, man. I was checking out your bio, man, and your inspiration game was your that ensemble is just crazy. Biggie, Pun, Big L, Hove, DMX, and the Locks.
Mm-hmm.
That
All
is
of
a
them.
crazy ensemble of artists to be inspired from. So if you have that ensemble of artists inspiring you, then there ain't no reason why any pen
They
should be
all
weak.
monsters in their own right. Like, they all monsters. And I had been blessed to graze the presence of some of them.
Mm,
God bless Pun before he died. 9-8. I was a kid. He came to my hood. He was at a basketball game. The Locks, he actually came to my block because my block was Bud Heavy. I'm from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So, they pulled up. I got autographed from Kiss. I was only like 10 years old. This is fresh on Bad Boy. He wasn't even on Rough Riders yet.
man,
So, that shit like that inspired me. You know what I'm saying?
right.
As a kid, I used to listen to Big. I used to take my sister, and my sister bought Ready to Die, and I used to snatch her shit
Mm,
with her boombox and just chill in front of
ooh,
my block and just bump
that's
it.
there. You know you from New York when you say that, man. Because I don't even think these kids nowadays know the importance of like what the boombox fucking resemble. Like you know what I mean? Like
And I'm a
what it
young
meant.
nigga too. I'm a young nigga. Don't get I ain't no old head, but the crazy thing is that to me it's like it started early for me. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, what most kids was doing, I wasn't doing. While I was listening to hip hop and around, my predecessors and people that I grew up around, I was chilling with them on the block type shit. Motherfuckers was playing with GI Joes. Not to say I didn't, but
right.
I was more outside than inside because that's the type of upbringing that I had.
Right. Like I didn't myself, I didn't have the honor of getting into like the whole comics, the comic books.
Crazy
So
shit is I got that. I had it all. Like, in my upbringing, I literally had it all. I had hip hop, I had comics, I had cartoons,
man,
video games. I feel like I had a crazy upbringing. You know what I'm saying? And a blessed one. And to be born in the '80s and like the late '80s,
yeah,
come up in the '90s, that's the golden era. So you get to
yeah,
experience so much. You're a millennial. You know.
right.
So it's just a lot of shit that I experienced, and I'm blessed to have been born at the time that I have been born.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely. Because that's how that's how I identify too. Because I was 88, but my musical journey, was the 90s, Fugees, Wu
Yes,
Tang, Naughty by Nature, Nas. You name them, and
facts.
you, they were all around during my upbringing. Um, with them inspirations, right? Like, do you ever find yourself? Because it's happened to me. Do you ever find yourself, you know, having to like sit back, like, wait a minute, you're like, because you can easily hear the influence of someone's music.
Yeah.
And do you ever like hear like that influence yourself, and you just feel like, nah, maybe I should tone it down because it's the comparisons is gonna be too crazy.
It's funny that you say that because I've gotten comparisons throughout my years. First, it was Jada Kiss.
Mm,
I'm not gonna sit there and shy away from that. Like I'm not gonna sit there and be like, you know what, like, nah, don't say it. Okay, that's fine. Like I ran with that. Cool. He was one of the guys that inspired me.
right.
Then they moved on to Cassidy when he came out, and I was like, it's 50-50. I listen to him too, but I wouldn't say that you know he's my inspiration. But he's dope. He was dope at that time. And then recently they giving me Joel Ortiz, and that is like I fuck with Joel Ortiz,
Yeah.
but I'm not him. I'm not him. That's my guy. I got love for the nigga. Bodega Benz is my nigga too. Like we grew up, same hood and all that. And he be fucking with Joel Ortiz, but it's just not me, bro. Like no, you could say whatever you want, just don't compare me to him, man. Like I may sound like him here and there, but that's still not him. I have
Word.
enough respects to him in Slaughterhouse. Well, what used to be
And like, how long have you been making music?
that. What happened?
How long have you been making music?
Woo! Wow. I'm gonna say since I was 15 that I got really serious with it. I started getting serious. Um, but before that, when I first heard Pun's album, that's when I picked up the pen. I was like, hold the fuck up. Wait. I think I can do this now. I think this is for me. Like
Would it be
Pun can
Capital
do it.
Punishment?
Yep, Capital Punishment. And I was listening to your interview with Chris Rivers,
Mm,
and he said the song that was his favorite, which was the one that featured Miss Jones, which was Punish
Punish
Me.
Me.
That
Hmm.
was one of my go-to records. So that was one of the inspirations. Once I heard the album, I was like, whoa, I could definitely
Mm,
do this. But my love for hip hop started with Big Daddy Kane, and I
mm.
was I was young. Ain't no half stepping. I can remember. Ain't no half stepping was my first record that I've ever heard as far as hip hop
And you
goes.
know what's the crazy shit about Kane is that he's still a beast lyrically.
Mm-hmm. And he
And
don't get
like, what I mean?
his credit.
Yeah, like, he'll still whoop someone's ass lyrically.
Yeah,
And that's crazy. Like, I mean,
that's
exactly. He doesn't get enough credit, man. And I think a lot of these, these OGs, man, like, they still got it, man. It's just that we're not too in tune with a lot of it because, mainstream,
yeah, yeah.
they don't give them enough roses and shit.
It's all this shit that's going on today, man. Like I mean, there's people that's good that listens to it, and I guess they vibe with it. But in all honesty, how I feel about it is that's not real music to me. That's not real hip hop. Everybody's just doing it. They following a wave, and
Right,
when I hear it, I take a listen to it to see what the hell people talking about, and it's just shit that's just thrown together. That's it. Whatever sounds good to the ear. There's no truth in it. There's a lot of people who lie, doing what they're doing today. A
right.
lot of Dracos and all this other extra shit that they be mentioning, and every time I hear something like that, I'm just like, did you ever want that in your life? Did you ever do this in your? I don't think you did, because you just free talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You talk about it
Right.
too free. You know, but it comes with the name of the game. We have history of rappers just lying. You know,
Mhm.
personally, I took a page from Ti's book, and I remember he said it. I was a kid. Don't speak nothing unless you actually did it. Will do it, or did it in the past type shit. You know,
Right.
or you would have attempted like this. I live by that motto, so I'm not gonna speak about nothing unless I have the fucking guts to do it. You know what I mean? If I'm not gonna
And,
do it, I'm not gonna speak about it.
and would you say that ain't no half stepping was it, or is there like a specific song or verse that you heard that made you want to make music?
Uh, you know what? That's a good question. I saw. I tell you pun, but the real person who really made me want to start doing music is between Big L and DMX.
Mm.
Yeah, DMX. I can listen to "It's Dark and Hell is Hot" front to back, and just the way, like the intro to the album, is what really set me off. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that right there just got me pumped up, and I'm like, hold up. Aside from hearing pun and shit, DMX definitely, and then Big L, God rest the dead. He was ahead of his time. Lyrically, he was just way ahead, and then we from the same hood. So that put the battery in my back for that. So I take a page from each and every one of these guys, and they just inspire me.
Where my bad for what I'm doing right now. My apologies.
It's all good.
Um,
Hey, Izzy, do you mind putting on a pair of headphones, possibly, because we hear a little bit of a popping sound behind you, too?
That what happened? You broke up there.
Can you put a pair of headphones on?
Uh, Let me see. Hold on.
my apologies. How am I on the levels?
Yeah, it's really staticky.
I still hear the popping.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yo, my apologies to everyone. There seems to be a bit of a technical difficulty going on.
Yeah. Uh,
Ray,
I'm gonna
you're
open my
fine
email
now.
again.
Now
Maybe I could transition to the Firefox, stream thing, because this is just this popping noise is crazy. Uh, Yikes! Technical difficulties is a motherfucker. Uh, Hold on. Oh man.
Yo, shouts to everybody who's tuning in. We're just trying to figure out the technical difficulty. Once again, we apologize. Shouts to Jay Rose who's tuned in on Facebook Live. What up, Jay?
Facts was good, Jay. Rose Code Music, CEO.
Yeah, I met this one girl at 12 years old. So to say I hold it dear to my soul. It all started with an umbrella. Ella, who never thought we'll get caught in the storm together. Stepping on puddles, memories we had many. Many of them we both had each other's back like Florence had Daniels. And when the weather in your house wasn't warm, or cold hard is all you want is to thunder sound like war. Raindrops falling from your eyes now. Cloudy skies became a crown for all your riding nights now. It's crazy. Before the had an ice pack, just a damn near punch your head. She could never get out. The plain, the rain, she couldn't understand how it connects. How the tough times fall on you like clothes that soaking wet, which was heavy. I told you, I got you if you get me, but
Popping noise, Lee.
all right.
Sorry,
That right,
guys.
it's all good. That right there was Rain featuring Jay Rose of the CEO of
Yes,
Rose
sir.
Code Music. Y'all can check that out on my EP. But getting back to Izzy, yo, so what we were speaking of briefly was DMX.
DMX, yes.
Yo, like let's say you walked into a studio, right?
Yeah.
And your engineer says, yo, we had to make a small adjustment to your album. We had to put a skit before your last song.
Mm.
And you say, all right, so let me hear the skit. Next thing you know, you're listening to a custom DMX prayer skit for your album. What would be your reaction to that shit?
First off, my first question would be, where the fuck is X? I gotta give that man a hug. Secondly, I'll be like, you better keep that shit on there. Thirdly, it's Rough Riders for life. You heard? You know,
Right.
but I've met DMX on a few occasions. You know, it was a high and by as a dap. He always showed love, and as a person, as a whole, he's a beautiful soul, despite all his trials and tribulations and turmoil. You know,
Yeah, I think X is one of them. Like he's probably like a rare breed of like yo, like like what he's been through. But anytime X comes out or he looks healthy or he's about to gear up to drop something new, there's an excitement there. Because it's like, although at the end of the day, X will be considered, if he's not already considered, a GOAT. Is like, I don't know, for some reason the feeling is like it's not mentioned enough.
yeah,
It might be because of like like the everything that he's been through, and I think it kind of overshadows everything.
yeah.
But like what I mean, for some reason, and just like Busta Rhymes, like DMX is not in a lot of people's top fives.
No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely in one of my. He's in my. Matter of fact, he's in my top 5. Yeah, that's. I can't not put him in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? And it's not mentioning it. You know, he definitely got to be in my top 5 because he's an inspiration to me. You hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We Gucci now. We groovy.
Yeah.
So going back to Pun, right? Because Capital Punish for me, Capital Punishment and the Slim Shady LP were the 2 albums that made me look at it like, yo, like you can actually be this good. And
Yeah.
I think those albums is what actually made me wanna take music serious. For Capital Punishment, what would be your top 3 favorite songs?
Woo. So we have Punish Me. I would say Boomerang.
Okay.
And then what is it? Fast Money. I feel like he went dumb on Fast Money. He went crazy on it. I was like, what the fuck did I just listen to? Like I had to tell I did this when I first heard it. I said, is this nigga serious? Like, did he just pull this? And what was more impressive about Pun was his weight and how he was able to do that at that time. He did get bigger, and it hindered his shit. but it never stopped him, and that's what I admire about Pun. Like
Right,
he pulled through, for a short time in the industry, and he made
right.
that shit happen.
And have you got on any of those beats?
No. You know what? Out of respect for him, I felt like why touch it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I did have, you know, this little thing where I did want to touch a few beats that Pun and L did, but it was like, but if I do that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm disrespecting a little bit of their legacy there, even though niggas do this shit all the time, but I just
right.
have a different outlook on it. And I admire these guys, you know what I'm saying? So me personally, I wouldn't really want to touch it. But you tell me it's a Swiss beat, I'll jump on that shit in a heartbeat. Because, Swiss is Swiss. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I have respect for those guys. So I want to murder their beats the right way, you know.
Word. And do you consider yourself a singles artist or like a body of work?
Oh, I'm definitely a body of work. Like, if people tell me, yo, you need to put out a single, da 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 da, and I look at them like we're gonna keep having this conversation. Like, the singles will come after the body of work is done. We'll start picking out from there what's the best thing. Um, I like to tell stories. You know what I mean? Aside from me being lyrical and metaphorical and all that extra shit,
Hmm.
my personal shit is to have a whole story to tell. It's just based on my personal life, and so you could get to know me more.
Word. And I was just telling this to someone. It was yesterday. I had an interview with someone, and I was telling her that as far as being lyrical, that's like that's a skill that is it. You have fun showing it, but like as much as I'm labeled a rapper, I also like to label myself a writer because storytelling is so dope, and it's definitely a lost form of art in today's industry.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it's just these guys they would write their stuff. These new guys, but what are you writing? You feel what I'm saying? That's
Are
how I
you
look
right?
at it. What are you writing, bro? It's like you're just chicken scratch gibberish. What is the meaning behind what you're saying? What is the moral code behind what you're saying? It's nothing. It's like no ethics. It's just bland. It's dry. It's just for the clubs type shit, and it gets boring because you're hearing the same thing from multiple people, from a
Right.
slew of people. It's just boring, bro.
And
no,
do you have a favorite storytelling record?
uh, you know what? Yeah, it's and it was not even on my beat. It was on somebody else's beat. It was Gilly the Kid featuring Pusha T. I literally forgot the name of the song. But
Mm.
it was a real situation that I was you know, in the streets. And some guys try to play funny like I was soft. And I showed them a different side of shit, a different perspective. And once I showed them that, you know what I mean, their outlook on me changed, did a whole 360. Like, I don't play with this guy because this guy's crazy. I'm not attached to no gangs or nothing like that, but I'm street. I'm real. I don't play no shit. I don't do the disrespect. Like, when I walk up in somewhere, you're gonna respect me. I'm gonna respect you, and that's what it is. We don't disrespect each other. We
Right.
disrespect each other, then it's gonna go completely left. And however that turns out, it turns out, and it is what it is. You know.
Right. And touching on that real quick, right? How do you feel towards like the artists that you see get put on either with a drug dealing background or gang affiliated background be like does that make you feel like you have to fight for it more because you don't have that type of backing where it easily attracts the industry's eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like I just said, like I'm not a gang member, but before me, being solo, I was in a group, I was in multiple groups, but there was this one group where we was just 7 years, and these guys were like my brothers. The majority of them, it was a 4-member group, say like Slaughterhouse or Bone Thugs or whatever, and we were the core members. The rest of them was gang members. I wasn't.
Mm.
But what I do believe in is mob stability. You know, it's like being a mob. So I didn't really care what they repped and what they claimed. My thing was, if you fuck with my brothers, this is what's gonna happen, and we're gonna get to it. I could care less what you rep on your side. Um, what type of turmoil you got. Just don't fuck with my brothers, and you won't see me there. Basically, you know what I
Mm.
mean. And I at that point, I felt like I had that backing. But to me, in this day and age, it really don't matter. There's a lot of rappers that don't come from that background. They build a mob on their own when they have their own entourage. I.e. Rockefeller, Rough Riders, Murder Inc., Bad Boy.
Right.
When you do shit like that, you become your own gang. You know, with different type of morals. So I could care less about a blue or red rag, yellow, green. It don't matter to me. If I love you, I love you, and that's that. You my homie.
Word. And what has been like? Well, no. Before I even get into that question, like, how has this pandemic affected you, musically, creatively, and personally?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it did kind of hinder, you know, going to the studio and making music. But at the same time, I had a baby girl, so I was kind of enjoying that. It just affected that part of it, but when you have a kid, you kind of lose sight for a second and enjoy that peace. So I just did that, and I was like, you know what, we got to get back to it. So I wound up just getting back to it and finishing the album that
Mm.
I got coming up. So it was all right. It didn't really hinder me too much.
That's good, man. And is it your firstborn?
Third born,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but special, very special one. So yeah, it's a lot of turmoil I had in my personal life
Mm.
regarding my two other children, and this one happened to be the one that I got to experience most of what I wanted. So you know, she's golden in my eyes.
Word. All right, and so yeah, no, because I hadn't like when this whole pandemic hit, I might have not touched like I hadn't gotten in the studio when it started. I might have not gotten in the studio like after 3 months,
Yeah,
and like I guess that was what was making me like even question everything. Like, what the hell do I do now? And then that's when quarantine and rap came about. Because even then, at that moment, I still didn't have my small setup here.
yeah,
So like I know that feeling. I know that feeling of wanting to create, but not, but being like cautious too. And then on top of that, you have kids, so now you got to be extra cautious.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really had to be on some other shit. I would rarely go out. It would be me and my wife. We just chill in the house. We'll eat, get a little fat. You know what I'm saying? And just try to stay away from
Right.
people. Don't breathe on me. Don't touch me. Don't do none of that. Just stay 6 feet that way, and we'll be all right.
Word.
It's not easy. This COVID thing is not easy.
Nah. And have you like how many times did you perform before the shit even hit?
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't performed in a few years.
Mm.
Like I had a hiatus and a half. Um, Again, due to turmoil. Um, it's literally been 5 years since my last project, which is
Okay.
you know, um, the tracks that was on it, which is "Don't Let Go." Um, that album, mixtape slash album, is called "Ugly, Unique, Gifted, Lovable You."
Mm.
Um, it's a personal story proving everybody wrong, and it's just been 5 years since that passed. I promoted it for 2.5 years, And then the 3 other years, I was just locking in writing because I went through, stuff with my ex, and she basically was the inspiration for this project that I got coming up now, this album. You know,
Word. Before we even get into the details of that, right? Let me ask, um, if COVID had taught you anything, um, about like maybe how to like plan ahead, musically, like if COVID taught you anything, what has it taught you?
work faster. Just to work faster. That's it. Because I could have been done with a lot of shit. I'm not gonna hold you. But even for the years that the gap that I have between the last album and this album, I have other albums coming behind that to make up for it. So while people would normally work on one, I'm working on three. You know what I'm saying? So I have to compensate for that, for all the time that I missed.
Yo, what's crazy, because I'm listening to you talk, and it's just like, yo, like I literally feel like I'm listening to myself, because I'm Katie, who's in the background, right?
Yeah.
I told like the EP dropped, and I'm like, yo, sooner or later I gotta start prepping to finish off the original project. So like, can we promote this? Can we at least just enjoy this? I'm like, can we?
Through 2020? Like,
Yo,
what's wrong with you to even bring this up right now? Like,
the wheels, the wheels got to keep going. And the crazy shit is that I didn't even hit the producer. He hit me. He was like, "Yo, so when do you want to finish? When you want to drop 2F?" Oh, this is heaven.
Oh
So
shit.
I was like, "All right, see, his mind is what my mind is." I was like, "I bet we're gonna start attacking it now." But
Facts.
yo, before we get more into detail, before we get deeper into this interview, please introduce your first song.
All right, so my first song is off my second mixtape. It's called Year of the Rookie 2, The Progression, and it's called Titan. The song is called Titan, and it's I know a lot of people are gonna like it, but at this time when it came out, this was the time when Kendrick was jacking all this King of New York stuff. So I felt a little eerie about it. And then Trinidad said something, and then I was just not feeling Kanye at that moment. So all these guys got something from me, you know, in this song. But you guys listen and enjoy it. Tell me what you think about it. I'm all for constructive criticism.
All right, take it away.
Law is not that you have. This name will come with a hyphen, just with invigorating excitement. Even the eyes, these niggas think that they gods, like they gripping the trident. Niggas go for the throne, plus with the bones, cause it's something enticing. Niggas still think they gods, till I'm the one that's summoning thunder and lightning. Tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight, 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 tight. Titan, I'm a motherfucking titan. I'm never the same, they say I'm insane. The visions that rest in my brain is registered pain. With that I sustain when I manifest justice, the rest of the flame. Judgmental, compared to all stencil. Could I be any more clear on what hurts? Fuck next, claiming it rough next time to confess. So the subject I'ma touch first. He claiming he king of New York. Ain't no such thing as a cleaned up valley. Put a foot down, put the book down, took crowns, look round, look down. The king of Cali. The best to spring out of Harlem. Any bitch nigga Apollo my song. I'm stupid on words as I couldn't keep counting the white rapping fake shot the niggas I follow. It's what I gotta say, one thought on the way, but hey, I've been a dad. Stay out of my lane, fuck out of my way, I got something to say to Trinidad. Walk open your kids, you know what it is, nigga mad cause we ain't on your dick. Hell of a talk, let's get this across, cause up in New York, the South don't run shit. They guys that like to pretend, well niggas like you tend to break fast. You get no points for talking that shit in the club on them niggas with straight ass. Niggas don't give a fuck what your bitch ass is preaching or the knowledge you pitch. But guess what, had you been up in Harlem, you wouldn't have made it up out of that bitch. This name don't come with a hyphen, just with invigorating excitement. Even the eyes, these niggas think that they gods, like they gripping the trident. Niggas go for the throne, with blood, sweat, and bones, cause it's something enticing. Niggas still think they gods, till I'm the one that's summoning thunder and lightning. Tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight, sin. Imagine I feel when niggas keep claiming they Jesus. You cruel just for a season. I'm coming for years now just to break pieces in pieces. These sneakers was hot, but switching Adidas like purchasing sneakers with creases. Whack, in fact, it's off. You are the definition of what makes it sweet as a peaches. Sugary nigga, one nigga go figure. You other than a couple of reasons. Afraid to be in our shine is why you setting that bar for niggas that's reaches. One was decided to play cause he got tired of watching the game from the bleachers. The sum of my life, and all cause I'm a titan. Either way, niggas good for the strain on the street shit. Niggas going too far, so I'm swiping they call without asking for credit or debit. A lot of guns to be shredded. Yeah, nigga, I said it, so please get gadget comedic. No, let's never forget it. These bitch niggas said it, so to make them regret it. For your Jews, you posted your debt it. The city, my building, you folks are just tenants. Let me just make one thing clear. I'm not gonna be the one they scared. I'm gonna be the one they fear. They get past on a one-way tier. I'm going down in the books for being the one that's a legend that rapping. Niggas claiming they king in New York, then why the fuck is he letting this happen? This name will come with a hyphen, just with invigorating excitement. Even their eyes, these niggas think that they gods, like they gripping the trident. Niggas go for the gold, blood, sweat, and bones, cause it's something enticing. Niggas still think they gods, till I'm the one that's summoning thunder and lightning. Tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight. This name don't come with a hyphen, just with invigorating excitement. Even the odds, these niggas think that they gods, like they gripping the trident. Niggas go for the gold with blood, sweat, and bones, cause it's something enticing. Niggas still think they gods, till I'm the one that's summoning thunder and lightning. Tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight, 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 I'm a motherfucking tight.
God, I remember that whole shit. You on mute, bro. You on mute.
All right, my bad about that. Yo, that shit was fire.
Appreciate it.
All right, damn, that is definitely Titan music.
Thank you.
Yo, so all right, so yesterday you put the word out that that your album Cautionary Tale is finally done.
Yes,
how was the process making that album from beginning to end?
painful. If I could sum that up in one word, very painful. You know, I had a lot of problems with my ex, and she was the inspiration for that. You know, if I said it before, I was feeling very crazy, very animal-like, very, you know, aggressive, and I just I didn't know what to do with myself at that moment, and this is already, you know, 2.5 years after Ugly came out, you know, which is my third project. So I just started putting the pen to the pad, and I started jotting down a lot of shit, and it kind of just manifested into itself. You know, I'm touching a lot of subjects on what happened and how I feel.
Word. I mean, you know, music is therapy. So, you know, I mean, you'll probably feel most comfortable talking to the microphone before you talk to a therapist.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could talk to a therapist too, but you know, half the time when a therapist will say something, music is my therapy. So most of the time, I'll tell the therapist to go fuck themselves. You feel me? Music is the therapy. I listen to that. You know what I mean? And I listen to my heart and just how I put the pen to the pad. You know.
And like how many songs is the album?
It is 11 tracks. I'm gonna say 4 skits, or like 6 songs. You know, so I stretch it along the way. It's not a jam-packed album, but the reason why I kept it short was because the album that's gonna come out after that is which I don't want to say the name yet, but it's the light side of me. So it's basically a yin and yang scenario. This is just the yang that's coming out first. Then the yin is gonna come after. So
and how important are skits to you as a creative?
Well, being that I'm a DMX fan and Locks and Rough Riders, their skits used to be fucking hilarious. And I always thought, I gotta do skits. Like I can't let that die out. Nobody hardly does skits anymore like that.
No, you're right. Nobody really does. Would you say that from the We Are the Streets album, would you say that that lock skit is probably like, if it's not the best skit ever made, would you say it's like up there?
It is up there because they have. I mean, I don't know how much you follow, Rough Riders. Each and every, I used to buy all of their albums literally, and everybody from Dragon to Eve, these motherfuckers got skits that connect with other skits on other albums. So it's like a story they telling at the same time. So all them shits used to be dumb funny to me because I'd be like, wait, he said this on the other album. Well, he said this. So this nigga came on the other album and got thrown off the roof type shit. You feel me? So that's how it was to me. So it's like I would follow the story,
Right.
But they always funny as hell to me because the type of shit they be just doing.
And one thing I'm noticing that you're mentioning a lot is Rough Riders, and I've mentioned Rough Riders in past interviews because I said it, like, like, you see, the thing is that nowadays you don't really need a label, right?
Yeah.
Because everything you could do on your phone and upload it. But I've always said, and even in my younger days, I've said it, yo, like, I would definitely sign to Rough Riders if they did a whole fucking reboot of their label.
Yeah. I mean, I keep it a buck with you. Like I don't like to put stuff out there that I've done because I feel like it's boasting about it. But I've came into contact with Dean, which is one of the brothers that runs Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a chance to spit for him not once but twice. He was impressed by it, but clearly it went nowhere. And if they were to reboot it, I'll still shoot my shot. Like, you know what I mean? Because just the way they was, aside from Rockefeller, these
Mm-hmm.
guys was a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah.
Just how they did everything from the bikes to the dog food to the street life. Their powerhouse was just so crazy, And then being Swiss was the marquee producer there, they had that particular sound, and that sound was just so fucking gritty. Like I miss that, I miss that about them. I heard
Right.
word through the grapevine that Hove is trying to reboot it. I don't know how he's gonna do that. This
Yeah.
is yeah, we're not in that time. You know what I'm saying? This label is a hard label. It's for hard music, gangster music type shit. So
Right.
I don't know how that's gonna be done. But more power to him. Right
Yeah.
now, if I was to get a deal from anybody who I would want it from, Rock Nation. I
Mm.
feel the safest there. To be honest, that's just my opinion.
And speaking of like whole like the labels and everything, and I want to once again, mad fucking love to J Rose. Um,
Shouts to J Rose. What up,
how did
CEO?
how did you and Jay meet?
Uh, I've known Jay for like 8, 9 years already. So I came across her on Facebook, and she had this song which I remember I will never forget, "Stairway to Heaven." And I was really impressed. I was really impressed by it. I was like, wow, like I've come across female rappers before, but she like really caught my eye. I was like, whoa, this is dope. I gotta I gotta see if I can collab with her, you know what I'm saying? Like this is worth it. So I hit her up and we would be back and forth here and there. Not too much. And then we just kind of got a little closer after a while. It took maybe about 4 years, but we got close, and I asked her. We actually got close after featuring her on my third tape, which is the song called "Salute Me." We became more close as friends.
Right.
So after that, just time passed by, and then we just started just living life and shit, just bugging out.
And yo, you know what's so crazy? Because sometimes when I do this, right, I tend to ask certain things that always ties back to something.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, J Rose puts out a song. The beat samples Eve. from Rough Riders.
Yeah, I remember that shit, and I heard it, and I think you know, no other female rapper could graze that beat beside her. You know, it's I feel like it fits her.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. And aside from my wife too, is my wife is a rapper. She's with the label. She's dope. She could graze beats. She has her own style. You know, and I just feel like J Rose did justice to the beat. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, she definitely. I like the craziest. I heard nobody else doing that beat. So when she did, I was like, I don't ever want to hear another rapper, female rapper, get on anything that samples this beat because I'm biased forever.
Oh
That
yeah,
J
yeah,
Rose
definitely.
was the one.
That's a fact. It's that, like I said, that's you have artists that can't touch everything out here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? 21 Savage on a DMX beat, or even a Big Pun beat. Can you really hear that? I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
nah,
just one of these guys, whatever these new niggas is, they just can't touch that golden era unless you have that golden era flow. You know
word.
what I'm saying? So
And like, all right. So assuming she reached out to you because I don't know how that process went. I'm just assuming. For you to join Rose Code, like what? How was the mutual feeling amongst both of you? Like, was it a no brainer? Is like, yo, like you ain't even got to finish asking me the question.
it was somewhat of a no brainer. Yeah, I was like, well, why not? You know what I mean? We've been in cahoots for so long. Why not just push the agenda forward and what I mean? Just make something of this whole collective. We all strong MCs. We are powerful artists in our own right, and I just feel like as a collective we could push forward and we could get far. So it's like, why not?
Word. Um. Yeah, definitely. Like, what is one of the best pieces of advice that was given to you by someone that you still apply it to everything you do musically?
Wow, that is a fucking hard question. Shit. Uh, just going with confidence.
Mm,
Just be as confident as you get, because I'm not gonna lie. I had to build myself up as an artist. Uh, Performances, I wasn't too confident there back then,
yeah,
and I would have to really build that up. But now it's like I don't give a shit. I'm going in there and I'm just gonna tear this shit down, and that's it, and go home, go to sleep, and think about it the next day. You know. So yes, definitely confidence. Confidence is the main one.
word. And yo, like the fact that your upbringing is like it's not like I'm even talking to a stranger as far as like the 90s and hip hop and who we grew up on. But like if you could teach a class, right? If they asked you to teach a class hip hop, like the history of hip hop, what era would you feel most comfortable teaching?
Definitely my era, which is of course the Rockefeller, Rough Riders, Murder Inc., Bad Boy. Anything from that, Death Row, and all that is. Before I was a rapper, I was a student of the game. I would literally follow what these guys would do, all down to their art form, all the way to their business decisions. You know,
Word,
because niggas get fucked in the game. So it's like you take a page from each and every one of these guys and their downfalls, and maybe you could turn it into a positive on your own behalf. So
word.
definitely.
And were you big on the 106 and Park TRL days?
Yeah, I actually went to 106 in Park for Freestyle Friday a few years before it turned down. And I got to audition. I battled two people at the same time. They both got smoke from me, and I was promised a spot, but I was the last person because I didn't have an ID at the time. I was young,
Ah,
so I smoked them, but they didn't call me back. You know what I'm saying? And the guy the producer, he's like, "Yo, we gotta call you back because you beat both these guys." I'm like, "All right, I'll be waiting for your call." No call. But 106 and Park was my shit. Freestyle Friday, yes.
yeah. Who are your favorite hosts?
You know what? Free and AJ. They're the originators.
Yeah.
They're the originators. They had the show interesting. You know.
And you know what I mean, and that brings me to my next question, because it's like, with like Video City TV and like Video Music Box still being, a staple for artists to be seen throughout the New York throughout New York City. you know um what would you bring back, or at least not mimic, but concept wise, if you could do something and like tweak it a little bit, either bring something back or you create a platform of your own, but like what what would you bring to the forefront that artists can benefit from, as far as like the 106 of Parks, like for example, um Rap City, the basement.
I was just about to go there. You in here. Um, you know what? I would bring back the basement, but this time I would, if you could bring back Ticket too, but instead of just having these guys that's already signed, spitting bars and shit like that, we need guys that has potential, that's unsigned but close to scraping the ceiling into the industry, and have them
Right.
just come let off, you know what I mean? With somebody who signed or go, present, you know what I mean? To have approval, if they don't approve.
Yo, no lie. When I had my boy Heavy Bags on here, because he's into the battle rap culture, right?
Yeah,
And I was telling him, because what 15 minutes of fame. Obviously, if you're into battle rap, then you would know 15 minutes of fame. So I
yeah,
was telling him, is that whole platform went from internet radio to battle rap. But my thing is, like, and that's another thing with independent artists not really having a home to go to when they're putting something out, right?
yeah,
So my thing was, yo, like if it was me, and let's say I just had a internet radio show, and if I was heavy into the battle rap culture like some of these people are, I would bring someone from that area onto the show. But then I would also bring um a lyricist, someone on the come up who has that hunger. So I would book them both for the same show, have the battle rapper go, what I mean, have his part of the interview, then I would interview what I mean, whoever's the second guest. And at the end of the night, have them rap live. So it's almost like you either impress the hell out of this battle rap MC or you flop. But my thing is to, what I mean, like maybe that cosign is what's needed. You,
yeah. I agree.
it's
The
like it's,
cosign,
it's like putting you to rap with Loaded Lux, and you
shouts to loaded.
impressing the hell out of Loaded Lux, and it's like yo, I'm gonna, yo, we gotta connect. And next thing you know, you're on stage with him. It gets to a point where it's like, yo, like who is this guy that's always with Loaded Lux? Then they start doing their homework. Izzy Mar, what? He's this nice? And that's the whole point. It's like, what I mean, doing something to where it's like, yo, you can get that cosign if it's
Yeah,
worked. And I think that, like you saying that, it'll be dope. Like, what I mean, bring back the basement, and it's almost like bringing not bringing back the source, but having the source do something to almost compete with Double XL. Like unsigned hype was everything.
I
Unsigned hype
tried,
was
man.
everything.
I tried being on there, man. It's not easy. That shit wasn't easy. I'll tell you that. You
And we
know.
and we know, like with Double XL, like the last batch of artists that was like, it was the Cole Kendrick, Wale, Meek, Big Sean. Like that was probably the last of the Mohegans.
Yeah, the freshman covers, right?
Right. So
Yeah,
now everything is, SoundCloud rappers. If you go viral, you're gonna get on the cover. So and
basically.
it's like a lot of them guys, you don't even hear from them anymore. But my thing is, if they was to revamp that whole unsigned hype shit, or just the whole publication as a whole, I think artists would be able to like go over there and get that what we grew up on, but they'd be able to benefit more from it. To where it's like now it's not to put them at odds with each other, but it's almost like, well, y'all doing that over there, but we're still catering to what this was built off of.
Exactly. Agreed. I mean, if we could bring back so many things, I would love to play a part in that. But sad to say, society does move on. And now we got all this bullshit that's out now. Shouts to the battle rappers and the URL shit. I used to watch the battle rap shit when that shit was on Smack DVDs.
Mm,
That shit used to slap. You know what I'm saying? Now it's and this is not bad still. URL now he's on a bigger platform. You know what I mean?
right.
But when it comes to that, it's now you got all these SoundCloud rappers, aka mumble rappers, and these niggas just don't do shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you really want bars, you got to look for a legend in the game or a veteran or somebody that you listen to and that's still bumping out now. You know what I mean? And that list went from this to this. So, you gotta wait, you gotta hope for the next Jay-Z album to come out because you bored of all this bullshit. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's how I feel. And I just hope that we can maintain the bars and bring back hip hop with a twist, with a proper twist, not all this bullshit that's going on.
Word. And speaking of battle rap, you used to battle niggas that you used to be in ciphers with.
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to battle a lot. Yeah, my problem was is that to me it wasn't a lane that I would prosper off of because to me, battle rappers, they're not gonna sell a million records. They're not gonna do none of that. You know what I'm saying? And aside from me having bars, I do actually like making music. This is a cautionary tale, even though it is a dark album. It's musical. You know what I mean? It's things you can sing along to. You might cry to it if you're that emotional. It's aggressive. If you're angry, you can listen to it. So, battle rap I just feel wasn't my lane, even though I did have to give niggas the smoke, and I haven't
Yeah.
lost the battle yet. But I'm gonna keep that like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll save the battle shit. Like I'll get back into battle shit if I'm signed. I'm at a level where we talking like a Drake or Cole, and one of them guys got a problem, and we, instead of just doing diss records back and forth, we could do this on a stage, like Total Slaughter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that was just I feel like that just was unequivocal. You had Joe Button battling with Hollow the Don.
Yeah.
I feel like even though Hollow the Don did his thing, shouts to him. I feel like that wasn't supposed to be there. You got to have two niggas on the same plateau.
Right.
So for prime example, how 50 and Jay-Z, 50 and Fat Joe was beefing. I felt like even though it did get heated, those two niggas should have took the stage and had their wars of words. You know what I mean? But of course, I don't battle rap or I'll fight, blah blah blah. Fine.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? If you get called out on wax and you know what I mean, niggas get smoked, and then you want to take it to a physical setting, right there, you're telling me that you lost because we went from music and now you couldn't take what I told you. So you're basically crying over spilled milk now.
Basically, but I still feel like you could elevate that. Aside from taking the stage together to have your war words, if y'all really feel ill about it, there is a platform, Rumble in the Bronx. Y'all could take it there if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if y'all want to go throw the hands, you can do it in front of a crowd and take that stage also. You feel me? there's a stage for any and everything. So why not? If you don't want the bars, you can get the hands.
And shouts to Rumble in the Bronx too. I remember seeing them at the Big Bronx Festival, and I was on stage, and I think I was so like, it's almost like I didn't care much for my performance. I just wanted to make sure I shouted them out just because.
Yeah.
Even walking past them when I arrived at the stadium,
yeah,
I had to say what up to them because it's like, yo, man, y'all Rumble in the Bronx.
Right.
So when I was on stage, I gave them a shout out and shit.
Shouts to them. They really created something that's needed. You know, there's people that's dying over stupid shit. You know, get shot for stupid shit, and because of jealousy or one nigga fucked his bitch or some shit like that. You know, and sometimes guys just need to fight it out. You know, I mean, if you're gonna shoot it out for a good purpose. You know, not that I'm advocating for it, but there's realistically speaking, there's a lot of people that just don't deserve to be walking this earth. But
like George Zimmerman.
Yeah, exactly. Just like him. Somebody get the shotgun and snipe that nigga out. Take that man out. But you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to go there. You could just fight it out.
I think like the level of respect that I have for Rumble in the Bronx elevated when the mother put her two sons to fight.
I saw that. You know what? That was real, and I respect her for that because if these niggas gonna take each other's heads off, they're gonna wind up killing each other. She was right. If I don't do something, they're gonna kill each other, and I think that was the proper thing for her to do. You know, you motherfuckers, y'all gonna have to fight it out. And we from New York. Back in the day when we was kids, we had a problem. What did we have to do? We had to fight it out. We had to fight it out. Like, all right, so after that, it's either we could still remain enemies, just don't talk to each other, or we could shake hands and just follow life with that brotherly love. You know what I mean?
Word. I mean, I'd like to know what's the update on that to see, you know what I mean, like how they are. You know what I mean, if they let bygones be bygones, and because you know at the end of the day, you know what I mean, they're brothers. They ain't, you know, everything else will come and go, but family is forever.
No, that's a fact. Hopefully they squash that, you know, because it's not worth it. You know, we don't know their personal issue to why they keep fighting. Hopefully it's not over a girl because that shit happens too, you know. But if it is, just let that shit go. Bitches come a dime a dozen. Unless she your wife, then there should be no reason why y'all fighting each other. You know what I mean?
Word. And being you know jumping into the next conversation. Being someone who's released mixtapes in the past, right? We're in the age of digital streaming, Tidal, Spotify, etc. How do you feel about what's going on currently with the industry artists? I don't want to say industry artists because there seems to be one person tied to everything. The Block 365, using these industry artists to host mixtapes and overcharging artists. Like, how do you feel about like these artists who are putting up $500 to $600 for one song on a mixtape?
Keep it a buck with you. You know, at some point I considered it myself, but then I started seeing a pattern, a wave of shit.
Yeah.
And all this wave of shit, even though it can potentially put you in a certain position, but I also look at the artists that they put on the tapes, and I see where are they. You know, I start questioning this shit. So, in my opinion, it's a waste of fucking time. You know what I mean? Perfect example, Fat Joe. You know, shouts to J Rose because she got something on one of his mixtapes.
And that's one thing I want to say too, and I want to put this out there is that J Rose went about shit differently. She made sure that dumb barks were loud enough to get this nigga's attention. It's not like Fat Joe is just sliding into DMs. I mean, everybody who supports Jay barked loud enough that Fat Joe hit her up. And so anytime I talk about this, I like to exclude that because J Rose is probably the only person that I know personally that had Fat Joe hit her up. This
Yeah.
wasn't something where he just slid into her DM one day. Nah, like she posted the freestyle. Now I mean, them barks were loud, and Fat Joe had no other choice but to, you know what I mean, acknowledge what the hell was going on. So, you know what I mean, shouts to J Rose landing that mixtape spot.
Yeah, no, definitely. Shouts to her for that. You know what I'm saying? It's a good look in certain cases. You know what I mean? Me personally, I wouldn't do it, especially with an artist like Fat Joe, because he has his personal thing in these streets, and I'm more old school in that sense. You know what I mean? Like I hear what's going on in the streets and how he is, and I've come across that man. He's not too pleasant personally. You know what I mean? And I get everybody is trying to jump on this wave, but I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing the proper results as of now. If Fat Joe was to help, or anybody like Jada Kiss and Game and all that, because they all doing it, help the proper way. You know, get on a song with these guys, or you put them on your tape and select at least 2 to 3 of them and drop a verse for each and every one of them. You know what I mean? And then the rest they could just come back next season or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Contribute the right way. Don't just sit here and take the money, post one song, or just post the tape and don't post the song at all. That money that you're using for that, you can market yourself. You know what I mean? You can literally market yourself. That's what I would do. I would sit there and put that into marketing money. Forget about these guys. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, who's to say you're going to pop off with that? You know what I mean? But shouts to those that is doing it. If that's your lane, that's your lane. More power to you. I'm just saying personally what I would do.
Yeah, because that whole pattern shit just got out of control. I think what did it for me was when I was tagged in Bow Wow shit. That was like, yo, I had to hit that person. I'm like, yo, don't tag me in none of these guys' shit, especially Bow Wow. I was like, yo, if anything, tag them niggas in my shit. Let them come to me. Like if Bow Wow, and that's the crazy shit too, because Bow Wow put out a video, I think was it yesterday, and I wind up DMing him, and I told him, instead of me paying you to be on a mixtape, how about this? How much do you charge for 3 posts?
Yeah. I heard about something like that.
And it's something that I saw Crooked Eye say on a YouTube video. It's like you get three posts. 1, people to check out your project. 2, let the people which song was your favorite song from the project. 3, follow this artist.
Yeah.
So you got to see 3 posts. All right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Give Tuesday and Thursday. Give Tuesday and Thursday time to engage and scroll through everything and see what's going on. So instead of paying Bow Wow to be on his mixtape, which I don't care about, well, how about this? 3 posts. You got the fan base.
That's true. The 3 post thing would work. You know what I mean? But again, that would conflict with what I'm saying. Basically, like, I mean, me personally, I rather a musical interaction. That's my preference. You know what I mean? Mention me on a song. Mention me, on a contribute the verse and just mention and give a shout out. You know what I'm saying? But just throw me on your track list with a bunch of other motherfuckers that's fighting for the same spot, it doesn't make sense to me.
Because that too is like these mixtapes are probably gonna be about 15 to maybe 25 songs. You're not getting a custom drop. You're not getting a custom spin back. It's just pre-recorded drops for the mixtape, and the artist himself is probably gonna put about maybe 2 to 3 records of his own or her own on the mixtape. So it's like, what are you really paying for? Are you feed? Is it a meal for your ego?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. This is a lot of it's a lot of man. I don't want to say this, but I mean I got to. It's clout chasing for some. For others, it might be just the ego boost to say, I'm on a certain individual's mixtape or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And for others, it's to present themselves the right way and be like, well, I'm here. You know what I mean? But for some, it's just they take it overboard. You know what I mean? And then you have the down to earth people, the people that's humble.
Because then too is like I also think about, all right, I know a lot of these guys, a lot of their money flow was shows and merch.
Yeah,
Now that COVID happened, they don't have that access to that. So now they got this guy, the Block 365
yeah,
running around, and even got DMX on that wagon. But
that's
and how I see it as, I don't really see because I'll show you my inbox right now. I know Jada Kiss is not sending me all the messages, the pre-made messages.
at
So
all.
like, somewhere somebody is with their hand up the puppet and sending out these messages, and is making these industry artists look real bad.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I guess that's their team that, that's doing it because, of course, they have people doing this shit. They're not doing it themselves. But at the end of the day, they just need to put a stop to this shit. When they put a stop to this and they figure out something better and how to go about this, I think everything will be much better. You know what I mean? Like, just contribute and cater to the independent artist that's trying to actually do something with themselves, not make a fucking buck off of them and just throw them on a track list. That just, to me, that's disrespectful. And that's why I say fuck your playlist. I'm gonna put that money into marketing. It's that simple.
Would there be anything else that you would that you can tell it, like, aside from marketing? What else do you think that that 500-600? Do you think an artist should definitely consider investing into?
Or anything that you need for your career. If you have a couple hundred saved up, like if you got a whole little budget, say like $5,000 budget, and you put X amount of money into marketing, you have money left over. You ain't got certain equipment, go get that shit. If not, if you don't want to do it yourself, use that shit to mix and master your shit. And just to the fullest. Spend every dollar that you can to mix and master and get your project, radio ready and just promotional ready, and you'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Word. Yo, as we come to a close here, um, do we have a release date for your new album?
We do not have a release date for A Cautionary Tale. I do want to keep this a surprise. I just want to drop it out of nowhere
Okay.
because it might sound crazy, but I feel like when you're not signed, nobody cares enough to hear release dates. You know what I'm saying? But everybody does it. I did it before. It's not,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with it. I've given a release date, but because of that, I seen how much people didn't care. You know what I mean? So it made me have a whole outlook. So it's like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna drop this shit. Give surprise drops. You know what I mean? So whatever I feel like, I just want to click the button and drop this motherfucker. I'm gonna drop it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna drop it the right way. I'll drop it with a video, or I'll drop it with some promotional tool, or something that'll put a little razzle dazzle on it. You know what I mean?
Word. Izzy, real quick, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can definitely find me on Instagram, the Izzy Mar, TheIzzymar. You can type my name in the SoundCloud. Two of my mixtapes is there, which is the second and third one. The third one is mixtape, but it's like an album because I wasn't able to sell it. You can find me on Facebook, which is Izzy Mar. And that's about it. On YouTube, Izzy Mar. Anyway, you type up Izzy Mar, it should pop up. You should see my face. I'm noticeable. I'm not pretty. So you definitely notice me.
All right, man. And with that being said, real quick, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was so dope having you on because it was almost like listening to myself talk in a way, because everything you're saying is like everything that I've said to other people and I've said on numerous occasions. The skill, fire, from
Appreciate
one
it.
MC
Thank
to
you.
another, man. You fucking unbelievably dope.
Appreciate it.
So please introduce the second song for us.
The second song is it's a lyrical joint. Got quite a few plays on it. It's called "Don't Let Go." It was basically, geared from my last group. Shouts to them. But this is me moving on, so I just had to let the world know, just not to let go of your dreams and keep pushing forward.
All right, y'all heard it. My guest Izzy Mar. Izzy, you'll be chilling in the backstage area while
Yes, sir.
while the song plays and I sign off. Once again, thank you so much. Shouts to you. Shouts to J Rose. Shouts to Rose Code Music as a staff and as a mother record label. And on that note, take it away.
Motivation is today's topic of discussion. Haters approach your destruction, cause it's making them sick to see you happy, you're hot when you buzzing. Disgusting. Ain't the cashews, they glad to feel a nigga bash you. I had to laugh to when they laugh to, but a real deal nigga for the past two. That's who? Izzy that get busy. Who is he? Does he keep his head up high? So high can touch the sky, but don't you know who the fuck am I? A nigga that's friendly, but I highly suggest for you not to tempt me. You was a fluke and you can go prove it. Answer with neutral the shots that you sent me. Never let a hoe hold you up. Never let a class slow you down. I ain't gonna hold you now. What smiles are better than frowns every time I stroke through town. Wow, the hate is real. No, really, they hate, I'm real, but my fade to sale. Don't say I ain't lyrically great, a debate is safe to fail. However you choose to, when they pop up in comments, I'm mentioning who's who use the cruise and the zoos, who's sipping on you, who's wondering who I'ma choose through. Next, I'm up. I don't give a fuck about all these souls on the side. I'ma get a stroll on to the long road. Until then, I'ma hold on tight. No matter who's hating, say that shit in the motivation, I say it. I say now, with or without your team, don't let no nigga fuck up your dream. I say now, no matter who's hating, take that shit in the motivation. I say now, with or without your team, don't let no nigga fuck up your dream. I say now, I push niggas to the side, hit the left with it. My old clique, yeah, I seem to be the best in it. The rest in it, trying to flex just to test the wits. We sound really full of the best of it. The testing me for possessing gifts. Eventually, gonna witness a perfectionist. A pessimist, possessed with the flag, the prick, suspect the shit, so test made a mess of it. Yes. You thought I was incapable, so you see I'm breaking through amazing blazing till I wanna get favorable. So for now I'ma play it cool, cause I'm not trying to lose myself. Fucking hating fools' expectations, I'm engaging to prove myself. To the man in the mirror, damn is it clear? Shit, I almost spooked myself. I was told I'm generic, so I reset and came back and renewed myself. Besides having the foot in their mouth, they lucky they ain't get a foot in their ass. I just sit back, I look and I laugh and learn to accept the good with the bad. Through all of my pain and my struggles, I feel too strong to stay in the bubble. I'm trying to creep in this game on the double, and ain't no shame in maintaining my hustle. Cause I got the stamp of a champ, there's no hope in defeating me. So let me just keep it a stack and fuck those who didn't believe in me. No matter who's hating, turn the shit into motivation. I say now, with or without your team, don't let no nigga fuck up your dream. I say now, no matter who's hating, turn that shit into motivation. I say now, with or without your team, don't let no nigga fuck up your dream. I say now.
Yeah. Yo, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to Quarantine and Rap. Shouts to Izzy Mar for being my guest for tonight. You know what I mean? It was definitely dope. Chopping it up with him, dope fucking lyricist, man. And you know what I mean? Not much more to say to that. Yo, shouts to Jay Rose once again. Shouts to Rose Code Music. Um, you know what I mean? With that being said, yo, we're in the last quarter of the year. Everybody, with everything going on with COVID, please don't be irresponsible. You know, stay away from any place with large crowds that is not practicing social distance. Too many lives are being taken. This shit is real out here. Don't what I mean? Don't be a bunch of idiots. Don't try to act woke because you're bored at home. Find things to do. Get productive. Start an online business. Whatever your skill set is. If you know how to cook, shit, man, start a cooking channel. Whatever it is, yo, be responsible. Stay safe, everybody. We're in November. Thanksgiving is approaching. Before we know it, Christmas is here. Before we know it, we're in 2021. Love, be happy, be healthy, physically and mentally and emotionally. Stay safe, everybody. I got about 2 to 3 more shows of Quarantine and Rap for 2020. With that being said, y'all already know how loving in this show. From me to you, thank you. Where it started at, the EP is out now. Check the Facebook page. Listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, whatever your poison is, it's out there. Like I said, y'all already know how I end my show. Great.